let's get into it. Coach Colin here. There are a lot of lifelong Democrats that want this shirt. They got this guy on their mind right now. There's a lot of them. You're about to see one. But honestly, I'm not even rubbing it in this woman's face because she is a very decent person. The way she's thinking about voting is how I think everyone should be thinking about voting. She's kind of echoing the sentiments that a rapper named Killer Mike had. He was talking to the black community, but it applies to everyone. He said you should look at Trump and Biden and look at their policies and see who has better policies. And that's glaringly obvious for anybody living in the world right now, right? And he said, who's going to cut a deal with you and your community? Who's going to actually campaign for your vote? That's what he was saying. He's like, you should go with that person. Now, go with what you feel, but go with that person. Because if they're willing to cut a deal, if they're willing to actually do things for your community in exchange for your vote, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. A lot of people don't think that way. They think it should just be, I should do it for honor and justice. It's like, no. What's that person doing for you? Right? A lot of people, if you got a problem with the border, you should be voting for Trump. He wants to secure the border. He had a better border policy when he was president. He was able to keep more illegals out, dramatically more, to the tune, I think, of 12 million less people got through on his watch rather than the almost 15 million that have gotten through, not counting getaways, because you can't count getaways, that have gotten through while Biden's been in office. That's just one policy right there. And Biden's the one that undid everything Trump did. Like, I'm not going to get into the border too much, but I'm just saying, you just take a look at what each person's offering. Take a look at how your life was under one and how it is under another. That's it. And that's all this woman's doing. So I really, really appreciate what this woman's doing. Let's check her out right. There's another opinion. This woman right here, this is what I was talking about before, doesn't like Trump. But listen to what she has to say about Trump.
You were telling me that you're not actually a Trump supporter, but
No,
you're here.
Not at all.
Why are you here today?
I'm here because when Trump was president, he was much better. I mean, the world wasn't on fire. The prices went up like crazy, the price of gas, everything. So he's the best, I shouldn't say of the worst, but there's no choice. I am a Democrat. I'm registered Democrat, but I would also occasionally vote for Republican. I go according to, who is better.
Like Joe Biden as a Democrat, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think he's destroying the country with his policies. It's just things are getting worse and worse. The more we're having more. We can end up with World War III with Biden. I think that Trump is going to make America great again. I mean, even I'm saying that, even though his personality, forget it. He says things that angers me, but his policies were much better, much better. I mean, you can't even compare. So, like someone said on the radio, you got to close your nose and dive in. Just vote for him, even if you don't like him, even if you hate him. He's just going to be better for America.
Wow. That's a very decent person. And obviously, if you're a Trump supporter, you're not gonna really agree with what she has to say in terms of his temperament and the things he says and his attitude and blah, blah, blah. But at the core of what she's saying, that's how every voter is supposed to be. They're supposed to just look, how was it before? Especially when you have the example of, someone already already had a term as president, right? How were things before? How are they now? And, she brought up the great thing, the policies. Not many supporters of Trump bring up the policies. But when you're someone who doesn't like him, you have to, especially, now, you have to kind of let yourself go and just be like, the policies are actually much better. The world wasn't on fire. Quote from her. You know what I mean? It's amazing. She's not even a supporter, and she's like, he's gonna make America great again. It's incredible to see. Absolutely incredible. Couldn't get that lady's name either, but that's how people should be thinking of voting. How are the policies? What are the policies like? I'm telling you, man, the fact that this isn't the thought process of most people who are voting is astounding. Sorry, let me phrase that. Most people who voted for Biden last time that are voting now, the fact that that's not the mindset of most people is astounding. And you know what? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Because what that woman is doing takes a lot of heart. For you to, because she could just vote for Trump. She doesn't have to go out anywhere. But she chooses to understand that she's a registered Democrat, like she said. She's upset with the policies that are in action right now. She's looking at the policies, and even though she is a Democrat, she's just like, I know what's better for me and for America. All of these things. And then on top of that, shows up to the rally, sees somebody who asks her to be on camera and asks, hey, who are you voting for? And then she opens up with all that. That takes a lot of heart. Not a lot of people are willing to do that. So what I'm thinking is there's a lot of people that aren't going to do everything that she just did and admit everything that she just admitted. They're just going to do it on the low. You know, I've been watching a lot of content, a lot of interviews and stuff. And somebody who was in New York, a New York resident, I think it was in Queens, they were saying there's a lot of people that know that they're going to vote for Trump, but they're not saying it because you don't want to, you don't want to get it out there, you know? Like you just like back in the day, somebody throwing a mask, you know, and you'd be like, oh, well, that guy's wearing a mask. Obviously, he supports masks. But, you know, in actuality, he's like, man, I can't wait to take this thing off. This is so done. You know, it's just sometimes you have a way of thinking and you're like, I'm not putting it on display. I don't want to get into all these fights. I don't want to get into these arguments. I don't want to have to talk to my mom about it or my brother or my wife or girlfriend or this or that. I'm just going to vote. It's supposed to be secret anyway. That's how I'm going to do it. That's what I'm hoping most New Yorkers are actually thinking, because New York especially. Now, Eric Adams, he has a lot to do with it. And just because Donald Trump becomes president doesn't mean Eric Adams changes his attitude and all of a sudden starts making good decisions. It's not the way it goes. Doesn't mean the governor will start making decisions and, you know, stop saying that black kids don't know what computers are. That doesn't mean any of that, right? But at least Trump will start working with them to make the city a little better. You know, he'll try and do what he can actually do, what he can actually reach down and do, which is only so much. But there needs to be steps taken. The crime, the immigration, the fact that you're blatantly in the face of all the taxpayers taking money that you said you did not have for their communities when they would ask for it for decades, years they've been asking. You're like, oh, you just don't have the money. It's just not in the budget. It's just not in the budget. Then all of a sudden $53 million pops up for a pilot program on debit cards for illegal immigrants. Man, I hope New Yorkers are waking up. I really do. Plus, Trump's from New York. Come on, quit playing around. He's from New York. You're from New York. Vote this guy in. Let's just let it happen. Trust me. Who is really looking forward to 4 more years of this? Who's really like? Oh, and that's the thing. Only guys like Robert De Niro. Only people like Bill Maher. Only people who are Mark Cuban. Only people who are millionaires and billionaires are like, well, it's fine. It's fine. What do eggs cost? I don't know. Haven't they always cost $15? That's what eggs cost, right? Oh, they cost less. Oh, wow. Amazing. Economy's doing great. They just don't know, you know? Anyways, guys, try and be more like, if you're someone who's on the left and you're watching this show and you're angry at the screen right now because I got my Trump shirt on and I don't play around, try and think like that woman. Trust me. If everybody thought like that, everybody would be doing what's best for the country. And, you know, like somebody said at one of these rallies, at the Bronx rally, when America wins, everybody wins. So anyways, guys, like, subscribe. It helps the channel tremendously. Turn the notifications on. And other than that, I'm out.